My name is Bernice Armstrong, and I'm going to do some introductions of Frank Garcia. But right now, we're going to go ahead and get started with our webinar this morning for maximizing your retirement. So thank you so much for joining us. Just a few housekeeping items as we go ahead and get started. You'll see me share my screen. We do have the chat open, and so I will be monitoring and watching the chat throughout, so feel free to use it. You also have the ability to ask and answer any questions along the way, so feel free to throw them in the Q&A, and there will be a portion towards the end of our webinar where I will just go ahead and throw some questions that have been asked out. So feel free to leave them there at any time that they happen, and those will go directly to me. But welcome again. Welcome. We are really excited to share some really powerful information with you, and I'm really excited to introduce to you the man behind all of this work that we're going to talk about, Frank Garcia. Um, this webinar is specifically for our partners and but for anyone who is interested in learning about financial wellness and retirement planning. So little overview of what we'll talk about today. I think we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the urgency of financial planning, why retirement planning is really important. But we'll spend the bulk of the time really thinking about how you, an everyday earner, can really optimize your benefits and how some of the work that we do with our clients is helping them to make it, to win, to get the outcomes and the life that they want, and plan forward for their future. And then we'll spend a little bit of time taking questions from you, from the audience, to learn your unique situations, learn about you and how we can help. And then even offer a little bit of time with Frank Garcia and do some one-on-one planning if you are interested. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right in. If you don't know what an RSSA is, Frank Garcia is a registered Social Security analyst, and that is a really unique designation that not every person who talks about financial planning can hold. Frank is a certified expert, so I would say he is a leading expert in Social Security benefits and retirement planning, and so he specializes in creating really personalized roadmaps, which is something that we're going to spend a lot of time talking about today, so that you will learn how to best maximize your retirement benefits. Our goal in the work that we do is to educate and empower you. We want you to win. We want you to make it. And our goal is to create a bridge to get you there. So without further ado, I would love to introduce to you Frank Garcia.
Thank you, Bernice. I appreciate that. Um, I just want to share one of the reasons that we're doing this is I did some work with Kimberly Long, who is your CEO for the Association of California Nurse Leaders. I helped her with her roadmap, her retirement planning, etc. And we talked about it. And it was so passionate to work with her and talk with her and show her the ways and the means to reach her goals so that she could make it going into retirement. I know she's out right now on some leave, but I just want to thank her, and I want to thank the association who we attended their expo that they had at the Disneyland Hotel back in February. So thank you all, and we're here to serve you. So let's get started. Okay. The thing that we're seeing in this retirement issue is that 67% of the people are requiring significant amount of Social Security to enable them to have retirement. So the goal that we're looking at is to try to take where you're at currently and create a way and a means and a bridge so that you can make it. So you can make it and not only have Social Security income. And in being a professional and doing what you do, serving and caring and helping people and taking care of them, it's very physically demanding. There's a lot of stress involved in it, let alone having the stress of wondering, gee, I got to consider taking my Medicare next year or a few years from now. I'm wondering what my Social Security income would be look like if I was going to continue to work for another 3 months or 3 years. What would it look like? Those are the things that we're able to share with you and show you specifically in a Social Security roadmap, the ins and outs and what it would be if you look at doing those options. So that's all available to you. And then the issue in regards to making a misstep in regards to applying for Social Security too early or too late, and how does that affect you? Recently, I worked with a client that looked at doing their Social Security at age 67, which was full retirement age, and they really didn't need the additional income at this point. And they had a spouse that was significantly younger than them and who really hadn't contributed a lot to Social Security. So her Social Security benefit was not that substantial. So when we did the roadmap, I explained to him and her, I said, look, if you don't need to take it right now, waiting to age 70, it's going to go up significantly between now and then. And if something should happen to you prematurely, your spouse is going to get the full survivorship benefit. So this makes sense. And you continue to work, it's going to go up anyway. So there's no need to take it now unless you absolutely have to. Some of the mistakes that we make, as I say, taking Social Security or having Social Security only alone as your benefit is it's difficult. It's very, very hard on your lifestyle that you're living now when you're working. Then you just go into Social Security and that's all you're receiving. So trying to create a plan and a way and a means so that you can make it into retirement, not only with Social Security, but some additional income is very important. And also, as I say, delaying planning until later, it can be a huge disadvantage and it can be an advantage. It really depends on the tax implications. Taxation on it in California, you're looking at there's no taxes on the state Social Security, and if you're making less than 34,000, you're only taxed at 50% above that if you are single. And if the same thing as a married couple, anything in excess of 44,000, then it's 50%, all the way up to 85% if you're making excess of 44,000. So there's some real intricate things that you can look at and see. And of course, now Social Security income, they're determining that based on your W-2 income. So if you're taking income from other sources, it could possibly not affect you. And also understanding how to coordinate spousal or survivorship benefit. I'm going to share with you guys something personal about myself. I think it helps understand this clearer. My wife and I have been married 28 years, and we raised our children. They were young, 6, 8, 10, and 12 together. And my wife and I made a promise to each other. Look, honey, if you take care of the kids, the family, and me, I'll go make the money. And we can do that. And by the grace of God, we were able to do that. And we've been married, just celebrated 28 years of marriage. But what did that do as it applies to Social Security? I'll tell you. I'll share with you what it did. I had a very nice Social Security income because I had planned for all this all along. She had a very small one. So I started taking mine and we looked at hers and we said, well, you're only going to get about $800 if you take yours now. But if we take the spousal benefit and add it, you're going to get half of what I get, which is we'll take your portion plus the additional amount that makes half of mine combined, and she got an income. So, and it was very nice. It was very beneficial. So knowing that and knowing the intricate parts of how to maneuver that or wait or delay it or take it is extremely important. Okay? Retirement age versus full retirement age. I recently worked with a lady that did not realize she was from New York, and she got a hold of me as a RSSA, Registered Social Security Analyst, and she said, I'm going to be turning age 70 here in the next month. Do I have to collect my Social Security? And to everybody, you would think that's a yes. But she didn't know because she was thinking that she should get her survivorship benefit from her husband that had worked years ago. So, making a long story short, we did her roadmap with her daughter, who's living with her, And we looked at it and said, look, take it a month later and get retro benefit for it because they're going to give you a retro up to after 6 months. So she was able to collect that and get it, which helped her. She actually did violin lessons, plus she had rental property. So I said to her, I said, you don't need the money right now based on the income she was receiving. I said, let's wait and take it a little later. You're going to get all this money back and you'll have it. And you can take income from your rental property and from doing violin lessons. So it worked out perfect for her. Now, what was the sweet spot? In that situation, the sweet spot was to wait a little bit longer because she's going to get it anyway. But what is your sweet spot? Everybody's situation is different. The plan of what we do to help you is create and look and analyze what is the sweet spot so that we can then enable you to maximize your income so you can make it in retirement. Again, back to strategies of married and divorced couples. Married, we talked a little bit about. What about divorce? I recently helped a client that had gone through a divorce and they didn't realize that his benefit was by $100 greater than her benefit if she would receive it. So we looked at that and we analyzed it, and make a long story short, she was able to get the spousal benefit plus the additional $100, and it just boosted hers up just a little bit because his 50% was half of it was $100 less than her benefit by herself. She would have never known that unless we did the analysis of it. Then as a widow individual, the widow or the widower, either way, those issues are very important because at that time of loss, it's really important to understand what you're going to be able to receive. And real critical too, as a widow or widower, in regard to longevity. I recently did a case for a chemical engineer here in California, and his wife was 10 years younger than him, and he was paying into Social Security for himself. He was paying substantial. We did some tax planning and helped him fix that. But he was paying substantial income in excess of 300,000 through his C Corp, and he was paying it all through Social Security. Well, the max is about 185,000, approximately where it's at. But anyway, he didn't realize that he didn't have to really pay additional Social Security income in for her by way of W-2 because he didn't realize or he didn't think about it. He's 10 years older than her, so she's going to get the survivorship benefit if something prematurely happens to him. And at the point he didn't need the additional income, he was just paying it through. But when we did the roadmap and did which we can provide also for those who are self-employed, we did the SATERA, self-employment tax and retirement analysis calculation, so you can look at both. And that way you determine, do I need to keep paying into Social Security, or can I do another way of income through rental income or distributions by an S corp, etc. So just a few ideas that can help in that. Tailoring plans. How does it affect you if you're doing shift work, early burnout, or why planning essential? Planning is essential because I've seen this. We all have a lot of stress of the world on us. Whatever the stress is, you know what I'm relating to, anxiety, etc. If you're able to make the time, which I think everybody is, set up a way and a means that you can create a plan going forward so the shift work is not the only thing you're dealing with, right? You've said on the sidelines, you've done a check mark and said, okay, this is where I'm at in regards to planning for my retirement. I've got the Social Security done. I've done the roadmap. Now I see where my income is going to come from. I see where other issues are going to come from. So I have a plan that I can make it. We can help you with that. I can't eliminate shift work. I can't eliminate early burnout, but I can help you with the planning so the planning can take that level of stress off of you. Strategies regards to variable types. If you have different types of incomes, there's way and means that you can take income from those sources, such as rental income, such as plans that you've set up that are not taxable. Those kind of plans you can do to create a strategy so you don't have to pay taxes on it. Because the money that they are calculating as far as towards income is income that you're earning by a W-2 income. So if you're keeping your W-2 income under that limit, as I said earlier, under 34,000 as a single person and under 44,000 as a married couple, and I'm talking about income by way of W-2 income, then you're not going to be faced with the issues of being taxed on it. There's ways that you can do that. Some of the unique risk in retirement, caregiving is the one I think about, and healthcare. Employers will, most of them are willing to pay for your healthcare benefit if you go to them and say, I'm going on Medicare in October, will you pay for that instead of paying for my health care? Because your health care is, I would probably guess, somewhere between 800 and $1,000, and your Medicare is going to be somewhere between 150 and 250 bucks. So it's substantially less for you to have Medicare. They'll help you with that. Now, of course, after that, it's something you're going to have to pay for yourself. But that's an issue you can look at when the time comes. That's another reason why it's important to plan for this so you have that money in mind of how you're going to pay for it. The other thing is a caregiver, long working hours and then providing care. I mean, it's important to have some form, some way, some income that you can utilize to pay for the need for home care, long-term care, or get a policy that covers that risk. What you're going to receive working with us. I want you to understand in the background, I'm not the only one doing this. I have tax attorneys, I have CPAs, I have an estate planning attorney, I have a business attorney. They're all part of my team with Bernice. We are here to serve you. You're going to get a personalized Social Security optimization roadmap. You're going to an income gap analysis. So where's the gap? How can we bridge over that so that you can make it? We're going to also analyze for you, if you want us to, the healthcare issue and how to bridge into getting Social Security at a less cost than paying for medical insurance. And then if you look or you need long-term care, there's ways and means to do that, to cover that risk. And also then a smart analysis for withdrawing strategies for income, how to take it and be at a lower income so it's lower tax basis. Hopefully that helps you. I look forward to working with you.
All right, we are going to take a shift. So thanks, Frank, for all of that great information. I am just going to start throwing out some questions that have already come in. This is just a reminder to you if you're watching us, you can look at the bottom at the tool browsers and you should see a Q&A button. Feel free to drop your questions in there. They are anonymous and I'll be able to field them and throw them at Frank. If there's any questions that we don't have time for today, just know that you'll get an email from us and we will follow up directly with you personally. But we won't be able to get to every single question. So first question, Frank, this is probably the most obvious question, but how much does all of this cost?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Okay, at this point, we are not charging you for the Social Security roadmap. That has been promised in the past with me working and setting this up through the Association of California Nurse Leaders, that we're making that available to you. If there's anything that I would earn from working with you, it would be paid to me by the providers the companies, the places that we would place your assets for management or for protection, they pay me directly. So you would be charged no fee on that whatsoever. And the fee that I am paid doesn't affect your cost anyway, because I'm independent. I write with all the companies and find and get the best plans for you.
Okay, and here is a question from Sarah. Can my spouse receive my benefits based on my record?
Yes, yes, he can. He is eligible for your Social Security at age 62 as long as you're taking Social Security.
Okay. And here another one. Here's another one. I hear you speaking about the sweet spot in maximizing retirement benefit. How do I find or figure out what my sweet spot is, and is it different for every person?
Okay, the way that you find out what your sweet spot is we do the Social Security roadmap, which means the link that you show there on the QR code, you can go to that, put your information in, then you go to ssa.gov and you download your latest statement plus your latest income earnings. It shows all your past earnings. With that information, you can put that directly into this program. And then once it's done and put in, I get notified. Then we schedule a time and I will show you. Initially, I'll show you up to four specific sweet spots in regards to how to maximize your income on a go forward basis. And we can also amend and modify that so that you can see, well, what if I decide to work another 2 years? And by the way, as an example, I'm fixing to get a promotion and my income's going to go up an additional 20,000 a year. Well, we're able to show you specifically how that is being shown. Whereas with Social Security right now, they can only show you current, and in most situations, they're almost a year behind in regards to what they can illustrate on the statement that you receive. But we can do that all the way to today and also project it into the future of what it's going to be. So it's significantly more advantageous with the Social Security roadmap.
Awesome. Thanks, Frank. And then I have another question from Trevor. Trevor says, I'm confused when a spouse is younger. My spouse is 4 years younger, and half my benefit will always be higher than hers alone. What age should we each take out our benefit?
Okay. Uh, just not knowing exactly what your age is, age 67 would be your full retirement age. So that issue is this, whatever your income is at age 67, as an example, if your wife's income was significantly lower, let's say that your income was 3,000 at age 67, and let's say her income at let's say she's 4 years younger, like you said, so she's 63 years old. So she's 63, eligible for Social Security because she's past age 62. Her income could be up to half of what yours is. So say hers is 500 and yours is 3,000. There is another $1,000 difference that could be added on top of hers because she's getting the spousal benefit based on what your income is. Now it's going to be a little bit less because she's not going to get 100% of it because she's taking it early in retirement. So that also exactly what I just shared with you there can be shown in the Social Security roadmap analysis. And example, it'll show you if she takes it this year or next year, what it's going to be.
Awesome. And John just posted a question that says, if my spouse passes away age 70 years, what does the living spouse age 70 have eligible for Social Security benefits?
Okay. As an example, if your spouse, if she passes away at age 70 and you're age 70 and her income for Social Security is higher than what your Social Security income was, you get her spousal income under the survivorship benefit. You get the higher of the two. You don't get them both, but you get the larger of the two.
Okay, and then I have one more question that
Yes.
says, if I've taken out money from my retirement account, how do I make a plan to get caught up?
Okay. I always answer that question with something kind of simple and funny is how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time because it's huge, right? So, how do you do that? You would take every paycheck and you would take the amount that you could pay towards paying back that loan amount that you take it on your 401k as an example. You would take and pay that and pay it off. Get it off as quick as you can so that that money is now fully eligible to you to retire in. And add a little bit to that, if you have a credit card debt of maybe two credit cards, take the one with the highest interest rate on it and pay that off first because that's where it's charging you the most is the interest rate on it. I didn't mention, but I'm also a Dave Ramsey certified financial coach. So if those some areas that you need help in, I'd be happy to talk to you.
Awesome. I have one last question I think we have time
Yes.
for. And it says, hey, Frank, thanks, Bree. How can I get a roadmap?
Okay. Under the QR code that's now being shown under questions in the bottom right-hand corner, if you put your phone on that and then click on it, when the picture comes into focus, it'll take you directly to the link for you to complete. Once you fill it all out, save your password and make sure you remember it. And then you fill that out. And after that, then you can go to ssa.gov when you set up your own account in Social Security online and get the past earning records, and it'll download right into that when you get to that portion that says, what is your past earnings? If you have complication with it, Bernice and I can help you with it. It's pretty simple for the process.
Awesome. So we are going to start to bring our webinar for today to a close so that we can end on time. If you have any other questions, Sarah, I do see your question, and yes, I will add the roadmap link to the chat, and I'll also make sure that you each get an email with that direct link so that you can take that. You will get that at no cost. Just for joining us today, as promised, I will also put a link up right now where you can book a one-on-one session with Frank. I know there's a couple people who had questions. I encourage you to book a one-on-one so that you get more specific answers from Frank directly, and you will walk away with your retirement roadmap that is customized to you. There are limited spots available for this month. So looking ahead into August, be sure to book a call and use the link so that we can schedule a follow-up with you. If you have any other questions, feel free. Please be sure to send them to us and know that you will get not only a recording of this call, you'll get all those direct links in your inbox as soon as this webinar is wrapped up. With that, thank you for joining us. I'll let Frank say his goodbyes as well. But thank you. And please stay in touch with us. You have Frank's LinkedIn, you have our email contact information as well.
Thank you all for joining today. It's exciting to be able to present like we're presenting here. I mean, to you over the internet and talking to you. And we look forward to helping you. And I pray that you all have a blessed day. And we're here to serve you. So whatever we can do, just let us know. We look forward to talking to you. Thank you.